Hello everyone and welcome back, and more importantly welcome to the first round of Fishy's March Madness. Now our two combatants here are going to be Jtranleopard, who is the map chooser and the designated attacker on this map, versus Indypride. You might recognize his name. I've done a couple battles of his, really like his style. Jtranleopard, being the map chooser, has chosen Lowlands. Classic map, been around for a while. Great cavalry map, a great offensive map. It's really flat, but the river going through the middle makes things a little more complicated on the attack. Now, when I get these replays, I'm going to just let them play and watch them live. No pausing, no slowing it down. It's going to be like it's live. Haven't watched the replays beforehand. I do pause at the beginning, take a look at the setups, but I do not watch them beforehand, so this is all going to be as new to me as it is to you. Now what we have here is Jtranleopard, who I'll call Leopard I guess for short, has chosen to take a lot of experienced units, a lot of katanas. Let's see here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. A couple Yari Ashigaru, 2, and some Yari cavalry. Decently experienced, mostly along his katana line. But that's going to be pretty much his army. Oh, does he have? Nope. He also has a couple bow warrior monks. It's going to be 2 of them. We're also going to be casting these from the view of the designated attacker. Just the defender sort of has his stuff hidden, make it a little more exciting. Indypride's taking a very balanced army. He's got a couple Nodachis, couple katanas, a Naginata monk, a couple Yari Ashigaru, 2 matchlocks Ashigarus, and 2 bow warrior monks. Got some cavalry off hidden over here as well. Great guard, actually, 2 of them. Going to be a very formidable force for him to take. We see that also with the faction choice. Looks like Indypride chose the Hojo, taking the blue. Let's see here. Taking the... Let's see, that's the workshop right there. Leopard is opting to take the archery dojo. Gonna let Indypride have the sword dojo and the workshop. Not sure if I agree with that. If we look at infantry advantage, I think I would give it to Indypride. He just has a few more numbers. Those Nodachis could really wreak havoc on those katanas. See, when you charge, your defense isn't taken into account. It's just your armor, and katana samurai do not have very good armor. If he gets a bad charge off, this could easily be good game. Not very many spears either. To deal with these 2 great guard over here, it's going to be very hard for him to do. Those ranged units too has a little bit of a skirmish advantage, having 2 bow warrior monks compared to Indypride's. Well, he has 2 as well, but Leopards are more experienced, seeing as Indypride took an entirely fresh army. So we might be able to get a nice little skirmish advantage, maybe pick up some matchlocks as well. All the buildings have been captured now. He also took the archery dojo, which I guess I should mention. So he's going to have a skirmish advantage there. Looks like we just have some repositioning going on. Leopard trying to find a good angle of attack. It's going to be very risky with Indypride's cavalry over here on the flank too. I mean, Indypride's cavalry is going to beat Leopards in a straight-up engagement. He's going to have to find some way to neutralize that cavalry if we're talking about corps here. Hard to find for Indypride. It's definitely a katana corps going here on Leopard's side. When we talk about Indypride, it's a very balanced army, and he's going to let... Ooh, and the bow warrior monks have already started firing. Looks like Indypride's going to be the one applying pressure here. Yari cavalry trying to flank too. No cavalry really on this side. Ooh, he's got 1 katana cavalry that I missed too. So it looks like I would definitely give the advantage in this situation to Indypride. He's already started shooting at these katanas. We've already lost 20 men, so he's going to have to hurry up and get into skirmish formation. They're not loose. They are in tight formation, whereas Indypride's... Looks like they're in loose formation too. It's kind of hard to tell, I guess, but they do look like they're in loose formation, all spread out though. So Jtranleopard, being the map chooser and the designated attacker, is going to have to move out here soon. Actually, I guess he is shooting, so that does count as fulfilling the designated attacker conditions. So we'll have a nice little skirmish going on here, but Jtranleopard might be getting the worst of it, deciding to move out. His bow warrior monks are still in good shape, but his katanas are starting to take some hits. One of them is already down 20 men. So that will be very hard for him to deal with. Chasing off the matchlocks. Good, there's a hill right here, so you're not going to be able to get any good shots off. But ooh, that's going to be a waste of a Yari cavalry, especially if Indypride catches it and gets his Yari Ashigaru in. Regardless, got him on the move, so a nice charge. Killed about 20 Yari Ashigaru. He's going to have to get that out of there, or it's just going to get torn up. It's going to be a waste of a cavalry, and he's going to need every cavalry he can. Yeah, I have to win this battle. Ooh, and running right into the spear wall. This is going to wear them out, but it looks like Indypride's just going to respond and send his Nodachis right out front. Activates the bonsai, and he's going to go right for it. Let's see what we have going. The matchlocks have started shooting too, and Jtranleopard is definitely in a bad spot, especially because the cavalry is starting to move in from the rear now too. It looks like Leopard is going to have to use his cavalry in an anti-cavalry sort of role. It's going to be very hard because he needs that to win that battle. Let's see how well the charge happened. Ooh, Katana Samurai already down 40 men. Got a nice charge off there. And they're going to be running into the spear wall. We already have wavering here from the bow monks. And the cavalry has come around the rear. Indypride has turned this attack on its head. Wavering, oh, wavering everywhere. Catches the cavalry off guard with his great guard and gets a nice charge into him. Cavalry is crumbling. Looks like the numbers for Indypride are going to be able to overwhelm this more experienced army from Leopard, and it's going to be very quick. Look, he's going to standard fight too to give him that extra edge. Nice charge with the no-dachis. That's the thing about the no-dachis. If you can catch them off guard, they're not that good in melee, but if they get that big charge off, they will clean up whatever's left. And it looks like this one's going to end fairly quickly. Surprised actually that Yari Cavalry didn't do too well hitting the Yari Ashigaru, but this one is basically over. These infantry units are going to get cleaned up, no problem. Got in the surround. Not enough anti-cavalry, especially if you're bringing Great Guard. They're very powerful units. I wouldn't want to bring 2 Yari Ashigaru. Yari Samurai maybe could make it work, but just the Ashigaru not going to be what you want to bring. So moving his Yari Ashigaru. Looks like they're trying to take out the matchlocks. But it's too little too late at this point. Indypride's going to clean that up, and there's the end of the battle. Go back to the main screen for a little bit of post-game commentary. See you in just... Alright, well, Indypride took game number 1 in convincing fashion. One thing I gotta say, Leopard took a very offensive style there with that army, with only 2 Yari Ashigaru to defend against cavalry. It looks like he really wanted to go on the offensive and just really try and take it to Indypride, try and swallow him up with his Katana Samurai, and grind that out in the classic Katana Core grind fest out in the melee battle. Unfortunately for him, could have pressed his skirmishing advantage a lot better, especially with the archery dojo, but he got hurried into that attack. Indypride did a good job of keeping his bows up in the front and keep the pressure onto Leopard, make him stumble into an attack that he wasn't ready for, and just would have been under pressure and made mistakes, and he certainly did, stopping his line before it got to the front. Was going to run right into that spear wall, maybe spooked him a little bit, and the no-dachis were able to capitalize on that and run in. Of course, the cavalry battle was obviously on Indypride's side with those Great Guard. Great Guard are just very good units, and I mean, this one came down to sort of a build difference. I think that Indypride's build was great to counteract the sort of thing that Leopard was going to be bringing. So I don't think there was... I do think that Leopard was a disadvantage in that battle. It was just a great build to go against it, but a great micro there by Indypride as well. He just was able to surround the enemy and swarm them. That's the thing about having a more quantity side army, is you can get those envelops. He didn't really get, Leopard didn't really cover his flanks too well, and was able to get surrounded and cleaned up. So great battle in game number 1. Indypride wins the next one. He'll take the series and move on in the winner's bracket. If Leopard loses the next one, he'll be going down to the loser's bracket. We'll see what happens. I'll see you in the next game.